Hello everybody, it is Aim Satellite and today I'm here with another League of Legends video. In this video I'm still playing Garen and finally I didn't forget to put my rugged Garen skin on. I was writing a message here, here we go, you can see the rugged skin. I bought it because it didn't cost lots of money, and since Garen is actually my main champ and I think it deserved to have a different skin rather than the Dark Knight Garen skin that everyone has because it's free. I decided to buy it, and I use it very often. When I use the standard Garen skin only when I want people to underestimate me, because when they see a regular Garen, they're like going to think, well, this guy's just, you know, probably a noob and he can't play the game, so he's using Garen. Now you're gonna see Blitzcrank missing a huge grab here. Bam. Terrible calculations. But yeah, in this game I was playing with I think it was two friends. So there's me, I'm FSAT, and you know, that's me. Then you can see this Veigar is not a friend of mine, he's a random, and Caitlyn also was a random. Most Heal Udyr is a friend of mine. I met him recently. He destroyed me in a ranked game with Darius, which is a strange thing, but yeah, this game is against a Darius, so I'm gonna prove him that sometimes you know, it's a lane that can go either way, and in this case it's going to go my way because this Darius wasn't the most clever Darius I've ever met online. So yeah, but rather than speaking of the lane itself, which will get explained when it starts, because right now it's just me farming and he's going to come and he will play a lot passively, so there's not much to explain. I'd say we can, since I wrote the guide, I think it's time for me to kind of speak a little bit more about the guide and how playing Garen works to me. So I'll be more accurate than I was in the last video, but since this video lasts a lot longer because the game took us a huge amount of time, and me and Mosteel carried because his presence in the team fight was the main source of damage, while I was the main tank, even though I kind of did put out a lot of damage. And as you can see, I'm playing a lot defensive against this Darius. The fact that he was pushing made me think that maybe he was going to kind of be aggressive, but you're gonna see he isn't aggressive at all, and that's his mistake, because when you play Darius you want to be a lot aggressive. Maybe take a potion of mana or two, and you know, that will allow you to be much more aggressive. So yeah. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, in this game I will carry, but only to a certain extent. There's another video which is coming up pretty shortly, into which I will carry a little more, but well, as of right now this is what I've got, and it's a very, very good game. You're gonna see my presence really helping my team out and changing team fights, so it's a very good game. I think it deserves to be, you know, shared on YouTube. But yeah, one of the main, as you can see, my start was the armor start, because you know, having the possibility to kind of reduce his damage so much is very, very nice. As you can see, my passive bonus from Courage gave me 71 armor, which is pretty good. Like, he's gotten 47, and even if he bought the cloth armor I've got, he probably will not, you know, get as much armor as I will. And now you're gonna see my friend Mosteel ganking me because you know, he beat me with Darius, so he thought I was gonna risk, but that's not the case. You're gonna see I practically do all the job on my own. He just wastes his flash and allows me to not have to waste mine, and I get first blood thanks to Ignite. So this Darius has picked teleport, so in a 1v1 I had the advantage because I have, you know, the pure damage from Ignite that always is helpful in a 1v1. And oh, by the way, there is another friend of mine in this game. I forgot about telling you. He's Blitzcrank. He's not the best Blitzcrank ever. He mains mid lane, as many people do, and he's a very good Heimerdinger player. But you know, in this game you're gonna see him miss quite a few grabs, but he's gonna land a few of them that did change team fights. So you know, he was an overall decent Blitzcrank. Not the best I've seen, but you know, he's a friend of mine, and I can't say bad things about him because he's just too good of a friend, and he's generally a good player. So you may think what you want, but I know what the truth is, and the truth is he's a good player. So yeah. You can see this Darius was trading fairly aggressive with me, but my tankiness was very, very big at this point. Like, you can see he struggles in dealing damage to me. And I don't know, maybe he didn't have the right runes, the right masteries. I don't remember which runes he had. I just know, as a matter of fact, he really, really wasn't able to deal as much damage as he needed to me. Darius is a burst kind of champion. Like, his bursts, and maybe a couple basic attacks is the way, you know, he's gonna get kills, and he's not doing that job very well. But yeah, so as you can see, your first unlock as an ability, of course, needs to be Decisive Strike, just because the speed boost is amazing to kind of engage people without having to fear the trade or the poke lasts too long, because you can just run away very quickly after you hit them. And its damage early is, man, it's so huge. It deals a huge amount of damage, and I love that. Now, this Darius probably knew I was in the bush. I don't know how he saw me going there, but you know, he knew it. So he was kind of taunting me. But I am not dumb. Darius is the kind of champion you almost never wanna dive, because when you dive him, he can just grab you and, you know, take you back into the tower, taking much more damage than you really expect to, and you know, it's not good. So yeah. So yeah, your first unlock needs to be Decisive Strike. Your second unlock is obviously Judgment, because it's your main damage source, and your third unlock must be Courage. Now, many people put their second point into Judgment. I don't do that, and I don't think you should do that too, because your passive bonus, since we're focusing on tankiness, and you will very often start with the cloth armor, as I did here, you need the added tankiness from your Courage passive as soon as you can, because from level 3 on, that way you can do your real trades and you won't have to fear taking too much damage. Now, as you can see, this Veigar was kind of dying quite often, but we're gonna get to more general gameplay later. I think we should try and focus on the guide itself and tips and tricks on how to play to be a better Garen. So, well, of course, I am focusing on farming, which is what you should do with pretty much every champ in every lane. But yeah, your second unlock needs to be Courage. Your third unlock, from then on, you're going to want to max out Judgment every time you can, except for level 6, of course. On level 6 you want your ultimate. The reason why Judgment is your first max, as opposed to Decisive Strike, which by the way, you might not believe this, but I see so many people maxing their Decisive Strike. That makes me mad, because the Decisive Strike is a good level 1, and it's overall a good ability, which will help you engage, disengage, and it can help you prevent AP carries from dealing damage. It's a good ability, but it's not your best ability. Your best ability is Judgment. You're spinning. The fact that you spin and the huge amount of damage you deal is too important to pass on. So you absolutely need to max that first, and then you can proceed into maxing out Decisive Strike. We don't max out Courage a second, because after all it does, every time you spend a point into Courage, it makes your shield last for longer, but it's not long, it's not like good enough. As you can see, this Warwick was very dumb. Like, he ulted me as I was spinning, which is stupid, because Judgment is a channel ability, which means that if you use it before someone suppresses you or silences you or whatever happens, you're going to keep spinning, so there's nothing they could do. Now, this gank is going to finish terrible for me, because I'm going to get overconfident and try to kill him. I wanted to focus Warwick, but I missed my ignite. I ignite no, I actually didn't miss it. I forgot. I don't remember. I didn't remember correctly. I wanted to kill Darius because he was my enemy laner, and you know, I don't really care about Warwick getting fed as of right now, because I'm so tanky. It's hard for him to kill me. But yeah, Warwick was almost dead, and I got Darius. So overall, this was a good gank. I'm going to get into ganks a little bit later, because I want to finish talking about abilities. But in general, there are situations into which you do want to kill someone when enemies gank you. So yeah, let's get back to the abilities kind of section of this video. Courage. When you spend a point into Courage, you're going to get just more time for your shield to last. So your shield is going to last, instead of just 2 seconds, which is its level 1, it's going to last a little bit longer, which is, of course, it's positive and it's good. But the passive bonus stays the same, so there's no point, really. I don't think there's a huge point into maxing that out before any other ability you have. And, the length of the shield, it's good because, it's very nice, but the shield works well when you're putting up a lot of damage as well. So you need to put a lot of damage while your shield is on for your trades to be really as effective as courage can make them. So in general, I would recommend that you max out. I would recommend that in general that you max out Decisive Strike as your second max, especially for the engage, because at this point of the game, Darius was nowhere to be seen. So I decided to kind of roam a little bit. I think I'm going to mostly waste my time, because this Darius goes back and I'm not stupid enough to chase him, because you see Vel'Koz was following me as well, so I decided to just go back to my lane. At the very least I brought them away from mid lane, which is good enough, but at the end of the day I just missed farm, so it wasn't a very good idea to roam in that moment. So yeah, I was gonna ward here and then I'm going to get back into lane. I'm going to get this whatever this thing is. We call it. I don't remember how it's called in Italian because I've got the game in English. But I'm going to get it so that I can just take the money and the vision, because Darius basically did all the job for me. And this Darius was so freaking afraid. You can see he almost never engages me. And this Veigar finally got some kills. So in general, this was a very even match, because we had a few friends that weren't really the best, and in general, it was just an even game, and this is why it lasted for so long. Differences happen, you're gonna see it later. So yeah, once you've maxed out, this is the skill order. If you have a ranged opponent, this skill order can change. Like if you're far behind, you can probably just go ahead and spend a few more points into your Decisive Strike instead of focusing into Judgment, because you're gonna need the speed boost for a longer time so that you can get close to your opponents and kill them. So, and also because every time you upgrade your Decisive Strike, the silence lasts longer, which is amazingly useful, because silence makes you able to kind of use your judgment for its full duration, which is very, very nice, because many enemies will use their teleporting abilities to just escape from you, and your silence will prevent them from being able to escape. So yeah, now as you can see, I was sure I was gonna get a kill, but this guy just, I think he recalls, and then I got out of the bush, but then at the end of the day he doesn't recall and I kill him. I think that's how it went, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, he didn't recall, he just went away missing farm and XP, because see, this Darius wasn't good. I think he was silver too. I checked LOL Nexus out, but he really didn't play like a silver. I mean, it was wood, like, it was wood. 99% sure. So yeah, yeah, as you can see, I'm gonna dive him now. No, I'm not gonna dive him now. Yeah, I was playing unbelievably safe, because outplays with Darius can happen thanks to his grab. So it was just the smartest thing to do was to just kind of bam. As you can see, my burst completely destroyed him and I didn't have to start spinning. Now Warwick ults me under his tower, has a big advantage. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna deal the full damage of my judgment to him, then silence him, and then I get away, and I use all my health potions to get some of my health back and hold my lane as he tries to push it. So yeah, there's this. Now we're done with the abilities. I guess I'm gonna speak a little bit about the gameplay, because there's nothing much to say about itemization right now. I was playing against a guy focused on AD, and his ultimate deals 2 damage, so health also helps. And the best thing I could do was build armor and health, and which is what I'm doing, because I've got the Sunfire Cape, and I kind of since Darius's passive deals magic damage, some magic damage from my Sunfire Cape kind of puts me into an even discussion on him, which is very, very nice. So instead of building Omen, I build the Sunfire, especially because Darius isn't focused on attack speed, so it's useless to just get that 5 more armor for Warden's Mail and renounce to the huge bonus damage from Sunfire. So I decided to go Sunfire first. I generally build Omen first, but this situation was particular. So yeah, I was gonna try and push Warwick away from my lane, and Vel'Koz popped out. He was level 10, but this Vel'Koz was squishy as hell. For some reason, he didn't even bother building some armor. Or maybe I was just too strong. I was dealing too much damage. And as you can see, he wasted his ultimate on me. That was so dumb. Like, at that point, you can't really deal that much damage to me. And as you can see, I'm going to try and focus him because I wanted to kill him, but he was poking me too hard, so... And Nami came in, and Nami was so annoying in this game. She landed a huge amount of crown control on me, and you know, she forced me to retreat here. So she did a very good job as a support, like, and I dodged that for God's bless. So yeah, as you can see at this point of the game, I can kind of roam. But what the biggest mistake I did in the game was this one. I let Darius destroy my tower, which is something you never want to do with Garen. Like, your tower is very helpful because you have no gap close. You need every possible tower you have to kind of escape. And Darius was just pushing brutally, and he's gonna get a kill onto Blitzcrank, who probably, I don't know, he was dumb enough to engage him, which is stupid because you never engage Darius when you're a support, because Darius is tanky, he's not squishy. So it was too late for me to kill him, and my external tower was out. So unfortunately, things went pretty bad. This is not a brilliant game in early, but you're gonna see me improve my situation pretty quickly. So this Vel'Koz gets a kill, and as you can see, Udyr is gonna focus Vel'Koz, and I'm gonna focus Warwick, and I think we're both gonna get the kill. So yeah, as you can see, no, he didn't get the kill. Vel'Koz was still alive, I think. How did Vel'Koz escape? Maybe use Flash, because Vel'Koz has no escape. So Blitzcrank comes here, just scares Warwick, but at the end of the day, I did the job. I thought I could kill Vel'Koz too, but I don't think I make it, because he escapes under his tower, and I'm not strong enough to dive him as of right now. So yeah, you're gonna see the game is pretty even now. So he slows me down, and you know, I decided to just farm and tank his damage, thanks to my shield. Blitzcrank misses another epic grab right there. So as you can see, it is overall not a very good Blitzcrank gameplay, and also the rest of my teammates are going to die quite often, as well as me. I will die quite often. So this is not the best gameplay you can have with Garen. But you're gonna see I get a lot of kills and not a huge amount of deaths, so you should kind of realize that the potential of Garen is very, very big. And as you can see, Vel'Koz's ultimate is going to put us as a huge, is going to make us be really afraid. As you can see, I'm not sure who it was, but I think it's Veigar. Yeah, Veigar was right there in the middle of enemies, and you just decided to die. I saw that the Udyr was under the influence of Warwick's E, so I decided to just get away and recall from a safer position. So I think Caitlyn miraculously survives, Udyr dies, and also Blitzcrank dies. So we are at the big disadvantage. I knew I didn't have boots, so I wanted to complete my Mercury strat, because you know, CC control is always very nice. And then I proceed into going to top to kind of push back my lane and maybe get the tower. I don't remember when I get it, but I do get it, of course. So yeah, we've gotten to a point at which itemization starts to be important, so I think it's time for me to kind of explain much better how itemization works on Garen. Now, Garen doesn't have a build. Like, if you go in a game and you're like, okay, I'm going to build this, that, and the other thing, you're doing wrong. Because Garen is a champion that needs to be built to counter build the enemy opponent, your opponents. The reason why is because Garen is not that amazing damage dealer. He deals a lot of damage because of his good scalings, but in general he's not a Riven. So you need tankiness, and to have tankiness you need to counter build. You need to kind of know what the enemies are up to, what they want to earn, what they want to get, that kind of stuff. So in general, it's important that you counter build. That's the only way you're going to really kind of play the game correctly. And you know, so if you're like, I want to build this, and I want to build the Sunfire Cape, and at the beginning of the game, that's what you want to do. And here I'm gonna get an amazing double kill, by the way. So I'm going to kill her, then I'm going to kill him, and then I'm gonna flash through the wall to prevent the enemy AD carry from killing me. He's going to poke me a little bit more, waste his heal, and I run away and I dodge him. So as you can see, this was a very close call, and thanks to my double kill, I think this is a moment in which I did well, because Udyr was top fighting Darius. My double kill really changed the thing and made us get an ace, so it was pretty good. And as you can see, I'm also focusing on some more magic resist, because I've already gotten my first armor item, and it's time for me to build some magic resist, because Vel'Koz pokes a lot and I wanted to be resistant to him too. So I decided to go help Udyr take my tower, take the enemy tower, and you're gonna see me, you know, doing that. So yeah, let's get back to itemization. As I said, again, I'm gonna repeat it. That you need to counter build your opponent. So if your opponent is an AD caster, an AD champion, and auto attack champions, you need to build the right kind of armor. Like Darius is not a DPS champion, and like he's not focused on attacking as fast as he can, because you know that's not how Darius plays. So you know, in that case, Warden's Mail is not good. But say I had Aatrox, he deals attack damage too, but I need Warden's Mail is better against him. Maybe even a Thorn Mail, but in general I would recommend that you also get some health, so Thorn Mail might not be the best item to start for you. So yeah, there's another kill that my friend Mosteel took, and we're going to focus this tower. I'm not sure if we destroy it, but we should destroy it. I was lagging quite a little bit, but I think we'll get the tower, yeah, because he didn't defend it well. He did the bad mistake of following someone in the jungle. So yeah. So yeah, there's that. After you've counter built the first two items, like you need to get at least two defensive, normally like not huge items, but generally defensive items for the mid game, and the brutalizer. The brutalizer is a must-have. You need it absolutely. It's one of the most important items you've got, and you absolutely need it to kind of. And I'm going to fail my ultimate here because he somehow took the damage. Maybe he did have some magic resist, and I didn't count that, so I didn't manage to burst him. So yeah. So for the mid game in general, you need to have a good amount of armor and a decent amount of magic resist. Like for instance, if your enemy is AD, you're gonna need a good amount of armor and a decent amount of magic resist. And if your enemy is AP, you're gonna need more magic resist, because of course your laning opponent is the kind of enemy that you're going to counter build first, but you don't want to forget about the rest of the enemies. So my enemy was mostly AD based, so I built armor, but you know, it was a good situation into which I kind of didn't need the magic resist to kind of counter Vel'Koz. And this was a terrible act I did, because I've gotten overconfident. So I got into a place from which Darius could just destroy me, and he did. So he didn't waste the chance, and he shouldn't have had the chance. So here I write, okay guys, time to get serious. But you know, I didn't write it because, you know, the game is going to last very long. So in general, it's not going to be that amazing of a seriousness that I'm going to give you right here. So let's get back to itemization. So for the mid game, you need at least the brutalizer at all costs, because that way you can use your kill potential to get many kills, and you need the kills for your late game, because you need both farm and kills. If you don't have both things, your late game is going to be terrible. You're going to be not tank. You're going to not be tanky enough, as well as not be. So he grabs me. I'm like, as you can see here, he grabs me, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Screw you. I'll destroy you, and I did that. So yeah, as I was saying, you need the kills and the farm for the late game, because if you don't have those, your late game will be terrible, because you won't be tanky enough and you will not deal enough damage to be helpful in team fights. So you're gonna see this game is a good example of a late game Garen that has worked well in its mid game. So he is useful to his team. He's not just a pure tank. He's also kind of a good damage dealer and a good bruiser. So yeah. Well, I'm going to complete my Spirit Visage because Spirit Visage is very good on Garen, and yeah. So for itemization, that's pretty much it. Like, you need to kind of fulfill this main objective for the mid game, and after that, you need to complete the Black Cleaver and complete at least one full armor item, and then one full magic resist item. And then you absolutely need to complete the Black Cleaver. So once you've got these 3 items and the boots, obviously, that's when you want to start focusing on counter building for the late game. Now you're gonna have to see for yourself on who is the enemy that is most dangerous. Like, say the enemy AP carry is really fat. In that case, you're gonna need more magic resistance, and you should prioritize into Maw of Malmortius. If your enemy AD carry is going very hard, you're gonna have to focus on a Thornmail or maybe a Randuin's Omen to get some more health. So you can kind of go either way. The amount of items that you can buy on Garen is pretty limited, because since he's mana-less, many of the items that give mana and that kind of stuff are just useless on him. So, you know, I wouldn't even consider buying them because they're not gold efficient. But, you know, Randuin's Omen is a good item. Atma is gone, so unfortunately you cannot build that anymore, which is pretty sad because I love the Atma on Garen. And you can get, you know, Thornmail, Maw of Malmortius, Oathbreaker. The new Oathbreaker is very good as well. You can think about taking a Mercurial Scimitar, which is also pretty good on Garen if you want to kind of focus a specific target instead of playing fully tanky. So, you know, you have your chances, you have your possibilities, and you should try every time to kind of counter build accordingly. But just keep in mind, your last 2 items must give you at least a little bit of armor and a little bit of magic resist and damage. Like, it's pretty hard to explain. Like, to say general things, it's not the easiest thing in the world, because, you know, it's fairly complicated. But in general, when you that's a nice kill steal, by the way. When you see, like, say your enemy team is full AD, in that case you don't care about magic resist, so building Maw of Malmortius would be just dumb. Even if they do deal a degree of magic damage, it's useless. You're just wasting your money. So you're better off building an actual damage item like the Yumumu's Ghostblade, which is an amazing damage item on Garen, because the armor penetration will help you. And not only that, you're also going to get a benefit for your movement speed. Attack damage isn't particularly nice, but some crit chance also helps you, because your how's it called? Your judgment can crit. It doesn't deal as much damage, but it deals critical damage. So it's very good. Now, as you can see, I'm just going to jump into a terrible situation, but I think I'm going to get a kill. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I will. So I kind of get CC'd here, and I decided I could kill Darius. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a kill and then try to get out, but I think I'm gonna get killed here because of Vel'Koz's ultimate. So yeah, unfortunately I'm going down. This is something that you wanna keep in mind. In my guide it's written as well. You do want to kind of use your ultimate to finish enemies that are running way off. Like, it's good to do that when your team is retreating. So when you see your team is retreating, you can do it, but you need to make sure you can come of that alive. You can come out of that alive, because if you can't come out of that alive, you know, you're in a terrible spot, because your death can make your friends end up dead as well, because when the tank dies, defenses are gone and you need to stay alive as long as you can. So don't do it, but don't do it like I did in that specific situation. Now, you're gonna see I'm starting to build Randuin's Omen, because when I died, I checked out my report and I saw that the most damage that was dealt to me was physical. So I was like, alright, you know what, let's just go ahead and get some at Randuin's Omen, so I can resist more to physical damage. And you know, the area of effect slow is very good on Garen because he lacks CCs. So having at least one CC is very good. That's why I never build Thornmail, and I try to focus more on the Omen, because in general Omen gives you more than Thornmail. Even if you need to get Thornmail only if the enemy AD carry is amazingly fed and will kill you 99% sure. Now, as you can see, I'm going to engage this Darius, and I'm not gonna let him go away, but I didn't have to use my ultimate, and this gave me the chance to have it at level 3. So now my ultimate deals a huge amount of damage and can kill even a tank when he's low health, as well as my passive is very good because it's on level 3, and my Spirit Visage is full, so I also get a huge amount of health regen, which is going to help me. Now, what you're gonna see here, this is the best way you'd want to use your burst. So this is your best combo. You activate Decisive Strike and flash into your opponent, you start spinning and then ignite them, and then you ult them once you see their health is low enough. This burst will kill a lot of types of enemies. Even the tankiest enemies will get killed by this burst, especially if you've got the Sunfire Cape. So you're going to deal a mixture of physical damage, magic damage, the pure damage from your ignite, and your ultimate will finish your opponents off, and if it doesn't finish them off, your ignite will do it. So this is the best way you can kind of engage an enemy. It's your main engage, because you know it's your main combo, because it's impossible to dodge. Your enemies will almost never expect you to just flash in like that, and they will never expect you to just flash in like that and kill them. They will never expect that, because you know they think, well, Garen has no escapes, so if anything he's gonna use his flash to disengage. But you need to prove them wrong here. So as you could see, now we had more kills, but since most of we're going to play badly some more kind of things, and the game is going to get even again, and that's very sad. Blitzcrank misses his grabs every single time, and you know I was about to get mad on him, but because you know Blitzcrank's grabs are very useful. As you can see, I just completely ignored Vel'Koz's ultimate, and I even silenced him. So I was like, you know what? Stop shooting me. I activated my shield, and his laser did nothing. So it was amazing, and now my health is regenerating again. So I am ready for another poke, another trade, another team fight, whatever it is. I am ready because I also have my ultimate. So, you know, I can just pick a target, and it's going to die 99% sure. So, you know, it's pretty good. The problem is you don't always want to engage in the same way. Some enemies will have a brain and they will realize that your Decisive Strike is your mean to engage. In that case, you can start engaging by using your ultimate. Now, I try, you can see I do it very often in this gameplay. I try to use my silence to stop Warwick's ultimate, which is epic, because if Warwick ults someone, even you, and you have triggered your Decisive Strike, you can silence him and prevent him from using his ultimate. So you can do that. At this point, you can see I just focused that Vel'Koz brutally. I killed him and I survived. They were throwing everything they had at me, and I'm still there with more than half health. And I'm going to regenerate now, so I'm still not done yet. I can do even more. This is why I love Garen. This is what makes him amazing. I just focused an enemy. They tried to stop me with every crowd control they had. I just ignored both their damage and their crowd controls. I killed their AP carry, which is the main source of damage, and I came back out of that alive. And I'm going to do it again. I dived them with my shield, took a huge amount of hits and damage from the tower, and I'm still good. And my health is going to regen here. So this is how you want to play Garen. You want to play aggressively. You want to play annoyingly. If you see you have enough tankiness, just go in. Just make sure you can get out, but do go in. Make them annoyed. Make them like think, oh my god, this fucking Garen is always in here. He's always here. He never fucking recalls. Get the fuck away and leave us alone. He never does it, and that's the way you want it. That is absolutely the way you want to play. That's how Garen is supposed to be played. You need to use your tankiness and your high damage in order to annoy your enemies and to leave them without breath at all times. So yeah, I think I pretty much said everything with this. I decided to ward Baron, and you're gonna see I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do something. I don't remember if it was this game, but you're gonna see something really, really amazing that I did with Garen in this game. So yeah, this guy, the only freaking grab he lands is the one into which he brings Darius closer to him and away from me. So, you know, it was overall not an amazing. And this Nami was very unlucky. I just ignited her and she's gone. She wouldn't have died without my ignite, so I didn't waste it. But you know, it was overall pretty nice ignite to use, and because I could keep my ultimate, which is much better than ignite. So in general, I would recommend you focus on using ignite first and then your ultimate. So yeah, Warwick was gonna try escaping. At this point, my ultimate has just barely 60 seconds of cooldown, so it's not necessary for me to kind of have to, you know, preserve it. I can use it if my ignite is not ready, and this is what you're gonna see me do. And you know, in general, that's basically how it goes. You can use it every time you want now because it's just gotten a very low cooldown. So yeah, plus Warwick is Warwick is a tanky opponent, so you shouldn't really focus him. But his ultimate was very, very annoying. It always changed things in odds in the enemy's favor, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to focus him. So you're gonna see me kill him a lot of times. By now, I am 15-3-4. My amount of deaths is going to be grow larger and larger because the enemy opponents will deal more damage, and I'm going to play much more like a regular tank, like focusing on you know, taking damage and that kind of stuff. And as you can see, I flashed in to kill Vel'Koz again, but I failed because they CC'd me again very, very hard. So, you know, it is very, very nice to kind of play this way. You can see they were escaping from me, like they were running away. Darius kind of put his pants on and started kind of, he just turned around. But in general, they were afraid. Like, you can see Warwick ults me and I'm still there. I'm going to get killed now because Darius, you know, uses his ultimate on me. And you know, this was overall not a very good thing. This is not a huge mistake I've made because it makes sense to just, you know, trade a little bit in that situation. But in general, the enemies had an advantage because there were more of them. And as you can see, my whole team is getting killed now. So they're going to put Udyr at a huge disadvantage. Now this guy, most healed, for some reason, this friend of mine, he went down. I don't know what happened to him. I think he's gotten a DC because he's a good player. He would never do something like that willingly, so he probably disconnected, and that's going to cost our tower. That's a huge mistake he made, and that put us to a huge disadvantage because they just could take their our inhibitor without having to, you know, care about him because the tower was gone. So that was a terrible situation. Now I'm going to pop out. I think I will get a kill because they were too deep. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's not this time, but so yeah, now at this point, we're not at we have a disadvantage because they have an inhibitor, so their minions will be a huge problem to us, and you know, you can see that this Nami always sticks her crowd control on me, and you know, it's overall a terrible situation. This is the second time I kill steal with my decisive strike, and I decided we should do Baron. Now Udyr was far away. So what's gonna happen here is this is a big mistake because I shouldn't have engaged the Baron. It was dumb, it was wrong, and Udyr shouldn't have followed that Warwick. So what's gonna happen here is going to be like we try to run away, but I see Caitlyn deals a huge amount of damage to the Baron. So I'm like, you know, let's do it. We can do it. They're not here. Veigar is down there. Maybe they'll go down there, and we'll just be able to kind of get it. Now, what's gonna happen now is you're gonna love it. I'm going to kill Warwick, and then I'm going to wait for my decisive. I'm going to get away and wait for my decisive strike to be ready. Wait for them to deal the damage, and I steal the Baron just before I get killed. So what I did is I saved two of my teammates, sacrificed myself, stole a Baron, and killed Warwick. So overall, a very, very decent play I've made. The problem is that it's not as good as it should be because unfortunately, you know, I shouldn't even. It's my bad because I've engaged the Baron and it wasn't smart. I shouldn't have done that. You know. Now we had super minions on our side thanks to the Baron buff, and Veigar was dealing quite a little bit of damage. So Darius goes down, Udyr is respawned, but at this point only Veigar, Blitzcrank, and Caitlyn, I think, have Baron, and you know, it's overall a good advantage in the team fights, in that kind of stuff. And my corpse is just right there. So by now, as you can see, I'm almost full build. Because my enemies are definitely behind me, because I have gotten 17 kills and 5 deaths. I'm carrying my team at this point, and I've got a huge amount of kills and a definitely low amount of deaths, while still having almost 200 farm, which is not very good, but I should have doubled that farm by now. But since I'm not a good farmer, I am a terrible farmer. This is overall a decent amount of farm. So you can see Warwick kills our Blitzcrank, and I'm going to avenge him, because you know, you can see in this game I kind of hate Warwick, so I'm going to focus him a lot. But yeah, at this point I'm carrying my team. I'm using every possible secret I have for Garen to try and put the enemies at a disadvantage, and to kind of carry my team. And as you can see, I was just in there constantly, and this is a big mistake. Darius is going to use this to kill me. Now this is something I do somewhat often, and it is that I go under a tower even if enemies are there, and I focus the tower because I want to destroy it. You should do that with Garen, but not when there's 4 enemies and your friends are like back, back, back. They're trying to back. In that case, you just want to back with them. Use your tankiness to escape rather than sacrifice yourself for the tower. Because what you're gonna see here is we're gonna lose another tower. No, maybe not 100% sure. But you know, we're overall getting sieged by the enemies, which is bad because our Baron buff was gone by that time. I really thought Baron buff was going to help me push the tower, but you know, that's just it. We lose another tower and another inhibitor, and at this point one would normally think, well, this is it. This is how it finishes. We are gone. But no, this is not it yet. We can still fight. So you're gonna see Darius overextends and Caitlyn punishes him. So I decide to kill Vel'Koz. I didn't even need to flash at this point or use my ultimate because I was too fast. So at this point I have a huge amount of armor, 238 I think, 234 magic resist. I was tankier than every tank in the game, not even the enemies, not even Blitzcrank. Nobody was as tanky as I was. And nobody was as tanky as I was, and you know, I decided to tank the enemy tower. Now I did this in the last video when I was on my own, but you know, that's not just it. This time I'm going to do it with my friends, so it's just going to work. You know, I'm like, guys, man, I'm just like, they were focusing the dragon. At this point we had a huge disadvantage because they had both of our towers down there, and we absolutely needed this one. So you know, it would have been, I needed help, and they just made Blitzcrank have to tank it for a long amount of time. Lucky for us, they came and we got both the dragon and the tower. Bam! Ignite ultimate to prevent Warwick from healing up using his amazing lifesteal. So you know, this is a point in which I'm clearly carrying the game, like my team, because you know, my presence changes it. Like it's different. Even me and Udyr are clearly making the difference. I think I'm gonna die here, like that. Yeah, just dumb. Just, you can see I get overconfident every time. This cage was very, very good, by the way, but they didn't use it because they were holding and it was dumb. So I was like, back, you can't win the 4v5. So I'm going to complete my Malmortius Mausoleum of Malmortius, and I'm going to kind of get back into the game because I respawn. I think that was my last death. I don't think you're gonna see me die anymore because with a completed Maw of Malmortius, you know, I have a huge amount of magic resistance, and my damage is very high. It seems like nothing much, but considering my scalings, that's a huge amount of damage. And since I reduce enemies' armor, it's just, you know, Garen is very, at this point I am able to carry. This fixes most of Garen's problems, because Garen lacks CC. You get Randuin's Omen and he gets 1, and he gets another CC apart from his silence. Garen lacks damage and armor penetration, and you know, The Black Cleaver is just overall very good because he doesn't have mana, so you get cooldown reduction, and you need that. You get armor penetration, and you need that. You get armor reduction that needs stacks, and you know your judgment will stack every stack you need. So it's amazing what you can do at this point. Garen, you know, he's just amazing at this point. I'm going to completely ignore Vel'Koz's ultimate as usual. But you know, and that's why many people say, "Oh my God, Maw of Malmortius is just stupid on Garen." That's a ridiculous, because it's amazing on him. It's both tanky and it's both tankiness and damage for free. So you know, how can you just ignore that? You need it. You can see my ultimate kind of changed it. I didn't get the kill, but if I didn't ult, I would have been. They wouldn't have been able to get the kill either. So. You know, very good overall as well. So I'm so tanky, I'm hard to kill. My sustain makes the enemies swear because I am always there. I just need a few seconds to get back, and I'll be back. So you know, I'm overall very helpful. The point is, this Darius was smart. Like, he wasn't a good Darius player, but he was a good summoner because he split pushed and got 2 of our inhibitors. So at this point he runs away. I managed to slow him down with my area of effect slow, and finally Blitzcrank lands his grab. So I think we're gonna kill him because we're going to kill him even though my ultimate is not available, but Blitzcrank should survive. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, he survives. So this Caitlyn pulls up a very nice kill. She wasn't really carrying, even though she should have done it. But in general, this was an overall well-played game by both sides, both my side and the enemy side. So it's just how it is. So I think we're gonna get a second Baron. But well, I'm sorry about stopping to talk about the guide itself, but there's nothing much more I can say. Like, I've talked about abilities, I've talked about itemizations, I've kind of talked a little bit about scalings, but there's nothing much to talk about. Like, you can see for yourself that Garen deals a huge amount of damage and only has 2 attack damage items that aren't even 100% focused on attack damage. Like, for instance, the Black Cleaver is a fully concentrated attack damage item. Even though it does give you health, CDR, it's overall very good. This Vel'Koz was completely, you know, condemned like that. Boom. He knew it was that. He shouldn't have even bothered using Zonia. But yeah, you can see it's overall. There's nothing overall to talk about much because you know, scalings are good. You can see that. I don't think I need to tell you that scalings are good for me to make you realize that, because you can see that I only have 2 damage items and only one of them is a fully damage focused item, even though it really isn't. Because, you know, if you compare the Black Cleaver to the Infinity Edge, that's a really damage focused item, while as opposed to the, you know, Black Cleaver, which also gives you health and some other stats which are not really focused on damaging your enemies on your own. But you know, that's just it. The video is almost over, so I'm going to start kind of closing it up here because I've talked for almost an hour, and man, I think I need to kind of drink a little bit of water once I'm done. So you're gonna see we're gonna win because we have the advantage, and I'm gonna get a last kill with my ultimate and finish the game. So yeah, I think I carried in this game. Without me, the team would have not won, and team fights would have been different. My presence, my kills, the fact that I could delete certain enemies, those things were pretty useful. They were important, and I think my team realized it. So now you're gonna get to see kind of a little bit of an aftermath. They're going to write fucking OP Garen, which is not true because Garen is not OP. But yeah, in general, this is it. You can see how Garen is, you know, he can carry. He can carry. You just need to play him well, build him well, and give him the importance he needs with his abilities. I earned 20k gold more than anyone else in the game, and that's just proof. Bye guys, see ya.